So in the spirit of the new year, I figure there is no better time than to really dive in to another success story video. Because genuinely, who does not love a great success story? And today's video is going to be a little bit different because today I want to share a few accounts of what most would agree are impossible success stories. My aim here is to show you all, through the accounts of others, what you are truly capable of when you suspend disbelief and go all in to accepting that anything is possible for you. So without further ado, let's dive into some stories. Hi, Missy. I cured my stepfather of terminal cancer in only just 2 months. I just have to share this incredible testimonial with you because I couldn't have done it without the help of yours and Tom's Be Something Wonderful channels. This was my first real manifestation, and I honestly cannot believe I actually manifested complete 100% healing for my stepdad, who had stage 4 pancreatic cancer that had spread to his liver, as well as his lungs, and wasn't responding to chemo. This was so unexpected, and none of this was supposed to even be possible. He had lost so much weight. He was frail and terribly sick constantly. We were all told to spend as much time with him because now we are just going to have to keep him comfortable. Last I had seen him, I barely recognized him, and his appearance was absolutely jarring. I had struggled for months to manifest dozens of things to no avail. I decided one day, out of sheer annoyance, might as well try to manifest healing for my stepdad, even though it won't work. I have nothing to lose. So I casually scripted it, imagined a lovely scene of him healthy, and I didn't think much of it after that. I had zero faith anything would come of it, and was like, it's such a big manifestation. There's no way I could do it, especially being new to the law. This is something I'm going to have to be advanced to achieve. You can see I clearly had some work to do on my beliefs and assumptions. Anyways, 2 months go by. When I was on the way to my brother's house Christmas morning, where the whole family was meeting, I was preparing myself to see him in even worse shape than before. When I tell you, my mind was absolutely blown when I walked in and saw him. Holy shit. He looked like himself. Completely normal, healthy, vibrant again. I was so shocked. He said the scans showed zero evidence of cancer anywhere in his body. The tumors were gone. He said the doctors were speechless. He said my mother almost fainted from shock. I literally couldn't believe my eyes, Missy. I had manifested this thing I felt was so impossible for a newbie like myself, and for it to be my first real manifestation? It's truly baffling to me, but it has completely changed me down to my core. I'm confident and I'm proud. No, I didn't believe it would happen at all, but I hoped it would. Deep down, I knew it wasn't impossible for me. I knew it was absolutely possible. It was just too advanced for me at the moment. He said he had no idea how it happened, but it was an absolute miracle, and he said he's never felt better. I'm honestly still just in awe of what I did and of the law in general. You've played a pivotal role on my journey of understanding the law, and I can't thank you enough for all of your videos and the lives you do on Sundays. Much love and appreciation. That one is absolutely mind-blowing to me. By all accounts, it is downright miraculous to see a change like that occur, especially after doctors and trained professionals have all but said that there's no way that this is curable, that there's no coming back from this. This made me so incredibly happy to see, and I cannot wait to see the successes that they have going forward into this new year. Also, shout out to Tom from the channel Be Something Wonderful. He has an excellent channel here on YouTube that if you have not checked out, I do highly recommend it because he knows his stuff, and it shows. Hello, Missy. Please pardon my flaws in grammar. I'm not native in English. I found your channel a few weeks ago on YouTube after 1 year of watching all sorts of manifestation videos. None helped until I began listening to you. First of all, I wanted to manifest an ex, but I gave up and started to hate him, lol. Then I grew a crush on a celebrity who was a lot older than me and was living in another country. One day I decided that I don't care how when, or why, but I'll be this man's girlfriend. I tagged him in one of my fan arts, and he actually texted me days later. I'm not a confident person. I'm not even living a good life by any means, but I decided and stopped caring. Now this man somehow likes me so much. Like how? But otherwise, it worked, and I'm in awe. P.S. I also manifested more things, like changing my hair and weight recently. I'm so thankful, Missy. You changed my life so much. I have hopes to manifest more things in my life and survive this crappy situation that I have. Love you. A couple of weeks ago, I rolled my ankle while doing some repairs on my house. I had slipped on a part of the floor that was wet and felt my ankle go sideways, followed by a loud pop and a sharp pain. Immediately, I knew it was bad. My wife helped me to our couch and grabbed some ice. Sure enough, upon inspection, my ankle was swollen, red, and incredibly sensitive to the touch. Fearing it was broken, my wife initially urged me to go to the ER, but I declined. As painful as it was, I didn't think it required an emergency visit. We compromised by me promising her that if it wasn't better by morning, I would go to urgent care. This happened on a Sunday, and the nearest urgent care in my area was closed for the day anyways. Hours passed, and the pain and swelling wasn't receding. By the time I got ready for bed, I could barely put any weight on it at all. That night, after we went to bed, I sat awake with racing thoughts and throbbing pain in my foot. I work on my feet for a living, and the thought of having to take time off annoyed me to no end. A voice popped up in the back of my mind. Why don't you try revising it, then? The idea of revision has always felt weird, but at that moment, I didn't have anything to lose. I closed my eyes and went back to the moment before I slipped, only this time, in my imagination, I caught my balance and didn't fall. I gotta admit, the scene wasn't spectacular or anything, but I did finally notice a subtle feeling of relief after looping it a few times before finally dozing off. Before I even opened my eyes the next morning, the first thing I noticed was the throbbing ache in my foot was gone. It took a sec to register, but I finally threw back my comforter to inspect my ankle. It looked completely normal. No redness, no swelling, no pain. It was as if nothing at all happened. My wife's a nurse, so she was especially dumbfounded when she saw I was healed. According to her, that shouldn't be possible. I gotta admit, I had some doubts about the law of assumption, but after that day, I am completely convinced this is real. This all happened a few weeks ago, and since then, I've had 2 more desires come to pass, and I'm just getting started. I wanted to share this story to help inspire someone who might need it. The law works. Just don't give up. You don't have to do it perfectly, as in my case, and it can still work. But don't give up. Don't ever stop until you get exactly what you want. Hi, Missy. I want to share my really, really wild success story. This experience not only proved to me that the law is real, but that we live in a multiverse with every possible outcome available to us. I know this is going to sound completely nuts, but I swear on everything this story is true. So quick backstory. I've known about manifestation and the law of attraction forever, but just found Neville's teachings a few months ago. So I'm fairly new to all of this. I've always had a fascination with metaphysics, and I've always believed that there is more to this life than what meets the eye. So Neville's teachings spoke to me in a whole different way, and I've been trying to take in as much as I can. That led me to your channel just a few weeks back, and I've been binging on your content ever since. Anyways, I know you and Neville always stress the importance of building faith by testing the law and playing with the concept of being the operant power. Honestly though, the idea of manifesting small things bored me. I wanted to get weird with this right out of the gate. So 2 days ago, I was reading a lecture from Neville where he described his experience with bilocation when he appeared to his sister in her house in Barbados while he was physically in New York City. This completely blew my mind, and I decided I had to try it myself. A year or so back, my best friend moved across the country to LA, so I decided to go surprise her, so to speak. I went into Sats and imagined sitting on her couch in her living room. Still in my scene, I heard the front door to her apartment unlock, and my friend walks in. Her eyes glanced over to me, and she does a double take. Her jaw drops, as does the bag of groceries she was carrying. When I felt satisfied that she had really seen me, I awakened back in my bed. Honestly, I didn't give it too much thought or importance. It was all in the name of fun, and I wasn't really expecting anything from it. Not even 5 minutes later, I got a call from said friend, and she's angrily accusing me of pulling a prank on her. I assured her I had no idea what she was talking about, and at first I was genuinely as confused as she was. I didn't even put two and two together until she explained that she had just walked through her door and seen me sitting on her couch before disappearing into thin air. My brain couldn't believe it. This somehow had to be a really, really bizarre coincidence. But it got even crazier because my friend then went on to describe what I was wearing, and it was exactly the same outfit I was wearing that day. I'm nearly 2,000 miles away, and we're talking on the phone, not FaceTime or anything like that. So there's absolutely no way she would have that information unless she had, in fact, seen me just moments before. I'm still in complete shock, and a part of me cannot fully believe this. But there is no way to explain what happened other than I had, in fact, located at my friend's apartment thousands of miles away. I've had some weird glitch in the matrix moments before, but this one takes the cake. Anyway, this was too crazy not to share, and feel free to share it if you'd like. I am so grateful for you and Neville, and for helping me realize that truly nothing is impossible. Be right back. Gonna go manifest my kick-ass life now. Sending love. TLDR, I teleported nearly 2,000 miles to my friend's apartment and nearly gave her a heart attack. The law is real, y'all. Hi, Missy. So I just had to reach out and first say thank you. If it weren't for you, my success story would not be possible. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all you do. Second, I had to share this for others who are on an SP journey and feeling discouraged. I just manifested my person back despite the most impossible odds. I'm not exaggerating when I say that I had every odd stacked against my favor. We broke up on terrible terms, he had moved out of the country, was engaged to a third party, and we hadn't spoken in almost 2 years since the breakup. Oh, also, I was blocked everywhere. It's a very long story, but I'll try to keep it as short and sweet as possible. My SP, the love of my life, and I had been broken up for nearly 2 years without a word of contact since the split. We were in a very serious relationship and often talked about kids and marriage. We had just recently moved in together, and everything was perfect at first. That is, until my stupid jealousies and insecurities got the best of me. I'm not going to go into detail on the old story, but basically we started fighting, and then the fighting got more frequent and intense until it hit a breaking point. We broke up a week before Christmas, and he moved out that night. He told me it was over, and told me never to contact him again. He told me he wasn't in love with me, didn't see a future with me, and would never give us a second chance. The next day, I woke up horribly sad, but still not convinced he was entirely serious. I tried calling and texting him, and hours passed with no response. I got nervous and tried reaching out through Facebook Messenger, and it was then I noticed I couldn't find his profile. I reached out to a mutual friend and explained the situation and asked if she could check to see if he had, in fact, deleted his profile. Nope, he was still active, and it was then I realized I was blocked. It was really over. Fast forward to 6 months ago, when I found out about the law of assumption. SP and I had been split for over a year at this point, and despite multiple attempts to reach him, I hadn't heard a single word from him since he left that night. Since he left, I've tried moving on. I tried returning to the dating apps and meeting new people, but it wasn't the same. I always knew my SP was my soulmate, and I was just coming to terms with the fact that I would die an old, single, crazy cat lady when I stumbled onto Neville's teachings. I was recommended a video on the law of assumption on YouTube, and curiosity got the best of me. Before I knew it, I went down the rabbit hole. I found success stories from people who had manifested their person back. I was inspired for the first time in a long, long time, and decided to give it a try. It certainly couldn't hurt, right? I started to apply what I had learned. I was scripting, using affirmations, visualizing, you name it. This went on for a few weeks, when out of the blue, I got an update on SP. It was not good. Not only had he moved to a different country, but he was also engaged to be married. I was shattered. I genuinely couldn't believe it. I had been feeling so amazing. Everything felt so right and perfect, and I couldn't have been more wrong. I said, "Fuck this," and dropped everything I had been doing. I dismissed the law as a giant scam and tried to pick myself up off the floor and move on with my life. Try as I might, though, I could not shake the feeling like this wasn't right. Something on a deeper level knew we were meant to be together. I wondered if I was genuinely starting to lose my mind. A few weeks had passed since that terrible news, and I thought I had finally cleared my YouTube algorithm of law of assumption content. So I was surprised when I came across one of Missy's videos, her SP story to be exact. I couldn't help but watch it, and by the end I was in tears. I deeply resonated because her story was so similar to mine. I decided to give it another try. And this time, I went completely in. I practiced sats every night. I wasn't too great at it, but I did it every night regardless. It started to get easier, and one night I was blown away by how real my scene felt. It felt like I was with him in the flesh. I could smell his cologne, feel his hair through my fingers. It shook me how lifelike and vivid it was. I tried doing sats again the next night, but it felt weird. Not in a bad way. It just seemed pointless, and I couldn't really get into it. Later, I realized this was because the seed had already been planted. Then things started to change for me. The first thing was that my anxiety and depression faded. Overall, I started to feel better than I had in a long, long time. I started to enjoy my old hobbies again. I reconnected with friends after being a total recluse after the breakup. And I started to feel pleasure for the first time in a very long time. All of those things alone were a huge success for me. I was feeling better and better every day, and SP was less and less of my focus. I still wanted him, sure, but it wasn't as consuming anymore. Fast forward again to last December, nearly 2 years to the day since we broke up. And guess who called me? We talked for hours, and he said everything I had imagined. He and his now ex-fiancée had decided to call it quits, and it was amicable. Something I had intended, because even though I don't know her, I still wanted her to find happiness elsewhere, you know? He also mentioned that he got his old job back and was moving back home. He told me this whole time he never stopped loving me and that I was his soulmate. Today I write this from a whole new state. SP and I are better than we've ever been. He's moving back the last week of January, and we're already looking at a new place together. We talk every day, and he's constantly telling me all of the beautiful things I imagine him saying. Guys, this shit works. Please believe in it. Please feel it. Please. Your situation is not hopeless, no matter how hopeless it feels right now. Tell yourself, I did it. I did it. Then drop it. Know it's yours and live in that feeling. You did it. It's yours. Meanwhile, test him. Go to the extreme test. I tell you, you will find him never failing. He's your own wonderful human imagination. And these are just a few of the many, many, many incredible success stories that I have heard and have witnessed from my own experience over the many years. Because my aim more than anything else is to help with encouragement, help with inspiration, really help with overcoming fears, doubts, insecurities, uncertainties, suspending that disbelief so that you can go completely in, no holding back, and experience the life that you deserve, the life that you desire to live. The theme for 2025 is to not limit yourself. Do not take the facts of the world of the 3D and use that as reasons or ways in which you cannot have what you desire, because nothing is impossible to those who believe. And once you do this, once you no longer hold back and let yourself go completely in to fully and completely immerse yourself in the experience that you desire, when you are no longer playing small, when you are no longer led by fear and doubt and the so-called obstacles and limitations of the 3D, once you transcend this and once you go all in on your creative power, that is how you will manifest the most incredible and amazing and impossible things ever. So I hope you all enjoyed today's video. I hope this helped serve as inspiration and remembering that nothing is impossible for you. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in checking out any of my other resources, I will have links down below to my coaching programs, my workshops, my blog, my podcast, my social channels. Got a ton of resources down in that description box, so don't forget to check that out. Also, be sure to check out the other videos on this channel. Be sure to check out my Manifestation Fundamentals playlist. Each video is a different topic, but it all pertains how to manifest the best life ever. So until we meet next time, all of you lovely people, please take care, be well, and never forget how powerful you truly are. Happy manifesting, guys.